Okay, so I just got done talking about talking to people so we can try to figure out some of this mass murder kind of mass shooting kind of issues. And I mentioned that we need to talk to people and see if we can put the pieces of the puzzle together so we can identify if someone is about to do something that could be catastrophic, right? So let's talk about what those things are that we're looking for. I mentioned events of loss. So let's define that a little bit better. Let's say that your mom passed away. That's an event of loss. A family member passes away. It's an event of loss. Imagine that you are diagnosed with a cancer or some kind of other health condition. That you're losing health. That's an event of loss. If you lose your job, of course, that's an event of loss. But you also have loss of money. You also have loss of even a pet, a loss of any kind of life. People can lose respect. People get bullied. They feel like they've lost respect or they've lost dignity. Pretty much any event that you can think of that's bad. We need to be paying attention to those kinds of events in other people's lives. And like I talked about in the last video, we need to engage people and we need to talk to them about it so we can even recognize that stuff's going on. Because if we don't talk to people, we won't even know that they suffered through an event of loss to begin with. And so we all experience events of loss. And most of us could use someone to talk to when we do. Now, here's where things get a little bit more difficult is gauging a person's reaction to an event of loss. So let's say that someone is experiencing one or more events of loss, but they're fine, right? I mean, they've have the appropriate reactions that you would expect for a person that's dealing with an event of loss, and they're fine. Okay, then maybe you're not alarmed. However, sometimes people don't react very well. So let's say that someone becomes withdrawn, that someone that used to be outgoing, they become withdrawn, or someone that used to be in really good shape stops going to the gym, or vice versa. Someone that was maybe a little bit overweight becomes rail thin because they've stopped eating. For suicide, we mentioned people are giving things away. But what about if we're talking mass shooting? What happens if a normal pedestrian dude goes out and buys a bunch of weapons and a bunch of ammunition? That might be a sign that we should pay attention to. So the idea here is pairing events of loss with negative reactions, and see if those things again are the pieces of a puzzle that put together a picture of something dangerous on the horizon. So this doesn't mean that when a person experiences an event of loss, they're going to kill themselves or kill someone else. This doesn't mean that just because someone's withdrawn, that they're going to go kill somebody. But what I'm arguing is that if you start pairing events of loss to negative reactions, there might be some danger, especially if there are multiple ones. So in life, let's talk to our friends, talk to our neighbors, and see if we can identify these kinds of specific events. So again, let's talk and let's identify these things, events of loss and reactions.